Here's the motherfucking Texas, ho. Here's the motherfucking Texas, ho. Here's the motherfucking Texas, ho.
Welcome back, guys, to Barcoded Chats with your girl, Niteria and
Sydney.
We are back with another juicy topic.
Yes, it's not Barcoded Chats for no reason. So, this week, we're talking about consent, okay? As we build up to this sex episode.
Yes.
What's sex without consent? Because you can't have sex
without consent.
Okay?
So, before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and don't forget to hit the bell so you can get every notification of when we post.
Y'all, please do. We love it. We see y'all growing with us. We see y'all rocking with us. We're over 600 downloads, guys.
Yes.
We just keep hitting goal after goal, and we're not that many downloads away from hitting another big number. So, let's go, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, you want to kick this off?
All right. So, it don't matter.
So, what is consent?
What is consent?
Do you know, like, if you were asked, what would you say, like, just off the top of your head?
Consent is making sure somebody is comfortable with whatever's going to happen after you're asking that question. Whether it's sexual, physical, emotional, whatever. Like, questioning if the boundary is okay to cross is what I feel like consent is.
That is pretty dang good, because it's literally, the word definition is permission for something to happen or agreement to do something. So, you have to have consent to do all kinds of stuff. You can agree to do a lot of stuff.
Exactly.
So you have to always be giving your consent daily, even though people don't respect it. Anyway.
Exactly.
And so, I guess that leads us into the next things. When do you get consent?
I mean, I feel like you need to get consent, like I said, anytime a boundary is about to be crossed. And especially if you're just meeting somebody, you don't know what their boundaries are just yet. So therefore, you gotta make sure that make sure that person is comfortable. Like, you can't just force yourself on somebody. And that's what consent is, making sure nobody is forcing themselves on you or somebody else, whatever the case is.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, you always want to get it, honestly, you want to get it up front as soon as possible. Just even making sure they like you in the same fashion.
Right.
Is a good form to get consent. Like, just make sure everybody knows, okay, we're going into this as friends. We're going into this as partners. We're going into this as a business. You know? Like, everybody's kind of got to be on the same playing field. But also, at the very minimum, at least, the best time to get consent is right before anybody enters anybody else.
For real, for sure. Yeah, no, that's the main time that you need to have consent.
That's the best time, before any limbs, any
liquids,
anything, before anything enters anybody else. Get consent. That's a great time. If anybody was wondering,
right,
that's a good time.
But I'm glad that you brought up like talking and making sure that y'all are on the same page, because like I know, like, I was going to chill with somebody in college, and I thought, actually not in college, in my adulthood, but he was from college, and I'm thinking we just on Skillet Biscuits. We over there chilling, watching the game.
Is that what y'all were in college? Just friends?
No, we didn't even talk. I guess he no. So, yeah, we was over there, watching the football game, chilling, and then he tried to kiss me. First of all,
people should know how to read kiss moments.
Yeah, it's not a kiss moment. And how do you know that I was feeling you like that? How do you know I liked you like that? Like, how do you know that's what I was coming over there for? Like, no. So I immediately left. I was like, all right, I'm about to go. Because at that point, like, I felt uncomfortable. What the fuck we about to do after I done dished you from you kissing me? Things about to be awkward. So I'm just about to go. Like, I'm about to put myself in that situation. So therefore, I'm glad she said talk to people and make sure you on the same page as them. Because people might not like you like that.
I feel like if you can't put your hand on, if you don't already have like a hand on their knee, or you haven't already touched a part of their body, like just on top of clothes, you probably shouldn't go in for a kiss. Or like if you haven't, it's like there is a connection and there's a feeling and there's a moment and there's a look and there's a
lot before you just kiss somebody.
And you both normally can feel it. That's the best way. But hey, I've also been in the moment where I felt a kiss and the other person might not have, or
I never feel a kiss because I don't like to fucking kiss. Like, why is you just in my face? Back up.
Y'all see what I have to deal with? Just.
But when I love somebody, I be all over their face like, give me a kiss, give me love.
Right.
But it's rare.
She don't do that to me.
Not at all. I ain't soft for these hoes.
Okay, so this may seem like a dumb question, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. Okay, off top of your head, who needs to ask for consent?
Like, are you talking about if it's like it's about to be sexual between a man and a woman?
Just in general, who needs to ask for
Both need to ask for consent.
Thank you. That's what I was trying
Like,
to do. Everybody.
I'm not about to get in your
ask.
business. You not about to get in
women,
mine.
because sometimes I feel like men can think and feel that we try to invalidate them. It's
Right.
the same, and it's like, no, they deserve to ask for consent just as much. Because, hey, we've been in some situations where girls definitely push themselves up on
For sure.
men.
For sure.
For sure. Girls are not always innocent. Please don't take that the wrong way.
Right.
But I'm just saying, they're not. And I think it would be better if we all stopped acting like all girls are innocent.
No, really. I do feel like I know a lot of people say like women can't rape men. That's very false. And I feel like some men feel like all the pressure's on them because they're the one with the penis and they feel like they're the ones that have to ask the consent. So they probably feel pressure like, damn, but no, like women need to ask consent. Like, is it okay if I kiss you? Is it okay if I do this, that, and the third? Like, women need to ask just as well as men. It's not understood.
No,
Never think it's understood. Never think it's understood.
Because that's how you
fucked
this
up.
is how you know when you fucked up.
Okay.
Because that's always gonna get you into a world of trouble. Just like, I have kind of a funny thing about that. So and then it's almost like I don't want to joke about rape, but it's kind of like a funny thing that my mom says. My mom always says that she got pregnant because she raped my dad on the stairs or forced him to have sex. Because my dad is a lot older, my mom is younger, and so she wanted a baby and he was trying to like dodge her. And so she says she always makes jokes, and this is just one of the jokes. She says other different ways, but she always alludes to like she trapped him one night.
Dead.
So men, make sure you get your consent. My mama was out here trapping my daddy.
I'm dead. Yeah. No, for sure. Yes.
They were married though, so please don't. They was already married, but she just wanted her baby. So.
And here we are with the product.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, really. Giving you.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely should communicate with your partner or friend or stranger, whatever, of what it's gonna be, what your plan is. Like, when you go hang out with somebody, you need to make sure, definitely read vibes. I know some people are better off reading vibes than others. I know how to read a vibe off the top. Like,
Same. Pisces.
I can feel it.
Intuitive. I read the room. Even though people don't think I read the room, I read the room.
so I'm the type of person I can take a hint. Other people can't. So
they cannot.
you need to voice your opinion and voice how you feel and let them know this is the boundary. This is what we not doing. This is what we can do. Or, whatever, this, that, and the third. But it definitely needs to be communicated.
And I know it sounds like a lot because I feel like some people are listening. They're probably like, "You doing too much, though." Like, for the first time you meet, but it's like, it's really not though. Especially in these times when some people, when you meet somebody for the first time, y'all fucking. So
Hello.
set those boundaries. You're new. I don't know you. Like, let's talk about what's about to happen so that we're all comfortable. Because like that's and so like you say, you don't really do that because you can't imagine being like you don't know them for that long.
Right.
Whereas I've been in a situation, and to me, as long as I'm comfortable in the moment and we've had our pre-game and that went well, then I'm okay because I'm a in the moment, go with the flow type of girl. But
yeah, I'm not. I gotta know you for some weeks, some months, I gotta feel comfortable with you, like.
That's safe. Probably a safer approach. Honestly, listen to Nigeria. Take your time. Get to take
because
your
there's
time.
There's psycho people out here. Not only men, there's psycho women out here like that. You will literally sit there and have sex with, not knowing how they are. And as soon as you give them that wham bam, thank you ma'am, that Super Soaker 3000, these people be trying to stalk you. They be trying to pull up at your job. They be trying to do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, no. So therefore, that's when you set the boundary. Like, we're just friends. Chill.
Speaking of setting the boundaries, so let's talk about ways. Next question: how to get consent? All types of ways.
Definitely. What
do you think? What's your way? What do you like to do when you with someone and you like, okay, I need to let them know what's up? How do you talk about
I'm blunt as hell. So I'm gonna say, I'm not doing that. We not doing that. We not doing that. Like I would literally, if look, I've had it to where a guy gonna come chill with me and I would tell him straight up before he even use his gas to come to chill. Look, baby, I ain't feeling like it, or we ain't about to do that no more. Like, I'm gonna let you know before you even use your gas. Like, I'm going to communicate because I don't want nobody not to communicate with me. So I'm gonna make sure I let you know before we even chill what it is and what it's not gonna be. And if we chilling and I feel uncomfortable, I'm gonna get myself out that situation, whether it's me or you that's gonna die, and it's gonna be you.
She always say that. She always says that.
Because like people really out here taking advantage of people, and I've been in situations to where I've been taken advantage of, and I had to think on my toes of how to get out of the situation without somebody having to get hurt.
Exactly. No, that's very true. And like I was kind of saying earlier, I've just been lucky to not come across many psychopaths. There was a man who brought a gun, but it's fine.
Excuse me? We're just not gonna pressure over that.
He carries, so it was.
Oh, okay. I thought he like brought a gun like for you. Like, you gonna give me this? You gonna give me this Super Soaker?
Oh no! Oh my God! No, he did not. I didn't find out until like after everything was done, and it felt like.
Dang it! It felt.
It was like in his pants. And
I hear fucking you.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like when he was getting dressed.
Oh, okay.
When he was getting dressed.
I was like, not the stroke and then boom. Could have shot both of you.
Oh, dead. Anywho, we're gonna move past that. So how to get it though? So with me, I guess, let me think. I kind of have different approaches, but I mean, sometimes you can solidify that though through a text message before y'all meet up in person. Also, you can kind of get it that way, define what y'all are both looking for. Right. I like to just talk that through. So honestly, by the time we're in person, like we kind of both know what's up. I guess that's for me. I kind of just have that conversation up front, depending on who you are.
Right.
Now, if I'm not trying to do all of that, I get my other game book out. Okay.
Okay then.
You know, you gotta play these. Okay, let me stop. Okay. So here's a good one. You can straight up ask, do you want to have sex? Or you can say, are you comfortable with blank entering blank? Or you can say, do you want me to? Or you can say, will you do blank to me? That's one. Ooh, this one is a little weird that they put in. What fantasy can we enact? Okay, but you can't use that on everybody because some people don't like all that fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
I do. But anyway.
I'm more of a like, look, what we gonna do? Let's get straight to the point. Like, what you want with me, like. But yeah.
Okay, but anyways, yes. So those are just a few ways. If you didn't already know, if you're listening and you wanted to know how, you don't know, you haven't been in that situation. Maybe you haven't had sex in a while. Maybe you have sex all the time.
Or maybe you had sex never.
Yeah, maybe you need just some new material. And I just gave you some new questions. But make sure that you're asking those questions, guys. It can be uncomfortable. That's the part I want to stress. I know it can be uncomfortable to have to sit there and bring it up because that means that you do want to have sex. But we're all human. We all gonna fuck each other at some point. So just talk about it.
And you know what's even more uncomfortable is when they do something to make you uncomfortable. Like, just because you didn't voice your opinion. And they did something you didn't like. And all you had to do was tell them, like, I like this, I don't like that. Communicating is literally the answer to everything.
Definitely.
And definitely consent. Sexual consent, to be exact.
Yes.
So definitely want to make sure you're respecting people's boundaries in every type of way, because you can get in trouble, as we've seen with so many people in the industry or in the NFL and all kinds of stuff, like
Sandusky.
T.I. and Tiny right now.
Girl, Bryce, little swimmer. I mean, anybody in Congress, teachers. I mean, do you remember we had that little string of here in Texas? We had like a string of female teachers that were constantly on the news, like week after week, for having sex with underage boys. Like, I swear it was like 4 women back to back.
I just don't. Why? Like, these are some innocent kids that you're there to mentor. Why are you taking advantage of them? And you can say, they're grown, they're in high school, they're not grown, they're still children, they're still learning. And the fact that you're taking advantage of that is sickening. Like, that's crazy. That's so crazy.
I used to be a substitute, and yes, I was young when I was a substitute. So even though I was like somewhat still kind of close to their age, because I mean I was damn near like 23 substitute teaching, I still did not look at any, like, what? I just don't understand that. Like, I've done high school, never looked at anybody in the high school and been like, oh yeah, I want to talk to you. No, I've been through college. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, I can't. And then go from high school, middle schoolers, I'm just like, that makes no sense.
I don't know if these people be desperate or they just be dumb as hell. It's both at this point.
But people want to spice up their life. People really be bored.
So you choose to ruin your life because you want to spice it up, because you're gonna get caught. You're gonna go to jail. I say this all the time. You're gonna go to jail. Okay?
No, you really are gonna go to jail.
And yeah, speaking of jail, that's where you're gonna go if you don't get sexual consent. Because like we were talking about on the topic of people in the industry and stuff, getting in trouble because they're not getting consent and they're having sex with all these people or whatever. They're not getting consent. They're being sexual with them. And like, I feel like that's also a big thing. Like, people that are in certain positions in work, have certain powers, people that are in fame, and they feel like, you know, that they may have the upper hand, and people that are willing to learn and people that want to get in the industry feel like, I got to do this to get to where I want to be.
Oh, yeah.
And people feed off of that shit.
Weinstein,
Yep.
whatchamacallit, Woody Allen. Well, that's kind of a different thing. He's literally married to his stepdaughter. What I was gonna say, yes, example, Legally Blonde, Reese Witherspoon. Let's take it back to the scene where she's doing really well and she's actually excelling and thinking that she's getting somewhere, and, you know, believing that she's working very hard on her own merit. And then what happens? Her law professor, as well as a esteemed professional lawyer, decides to hit on her in his office. Because why? Because he believes that he can. He thinks that she will, because He literally said, I believe you're not serious about your law career if you don't. And that's what people like to do to people. They like to dangle shit. Yep. And it can be as big as fame or as small as your next meal. But they're gonna dangle whatever the hell they need to get what they want out of you. And that's really like a whole nother level of just
disgusting.
Exactly. But kind of segueing, it's having to kind of do with consent and jail. Another just like side effect or symptom of these, because jail is one, sexual assault and all of that. Sexual assault. So basically, got a couple of statistics here. We'll have the links. But this is from RAINN.org. And so for the women, every 68 seconds an American is assaulted. Notice how they said American, because that means men and women. Every 68 seconds. On average, there are 463,634 victims aged 12 or older of rape and sexual assault each year in the U.S. That's just the United States. We're not even talking about our good sisters over in India who got their own shit going on.
Okay.
As of 1998, an estimated 17.7 million American women had been victims of attempted or completed as of 1998. Let's just think about it. Like, when I was just like reading this, I was like,
mind-blowing.
Why is this something that won't stop? That's the issue. Why is this like a thing that people do? It even becomes like, well, I saw it happen to my parent, and then you grow up, or, you know, it's just like, or it's something that people pass down. Or like shit, back in the like 30s and 40s, you know, spousal rape was a huge thing. And people wouldn't say anything about it because that's your husband. You're supposed to have sex with him, not in that way.
If he's forcing you and you feel like it's against your will and you damn near crying, no, that's rape.
Exactly.
Whether you're married or not.
And then speaking of men, because let's not forget our bros, as of 1998, 2.78 million men in the U.S. have been victims of attempted or completed rape. About 3% of American men have experienced an attempted or completed rape, and 1 out of every 10 rape victims are male. That's actually a pretty sizable, because I think the one for women is a 1 out of 6.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people really be out here thinking that men can't get raped. That's crazy. Y'all see it's 1 out of every 10 people are men.
And stop telling them good for them. Nothing good. Like, here we go, because you know we watch a lot of TV over here, so we'll always keep the references. You was watching it though with my girl Kate Mara. What's the name of it? She's a teacher, and she slept with that boy and ruined his life.
On Hulu?
On Hulu. Teacher.
A teacher.
A teacher. Great show, because I like how it doesn't focus on like them. Most of like them getting together is kind of flashbacks.
Yeah.
I like how it doesn't focus. It like shows the aftermath of what the fuck you've done.
Yeah.
It's
like just watch it.
She ruins his life. Like, and that's the thing. You think it's good because towards the end he like grows up. Because I remember seeing it. He's not happy. He's not walking around. He's not the big man on campus. He's not confident. His life was ruined. He was taken advantage of by an older woman who manipulated his emotions and completely shattered like his upbringing as a child. Like, that's not okay.
Hey, at all.
Point blank period. And then the last bit of statistics that we'll wind down with. Let's talk about our trans members of the community. 21% of transgender or genderqueer non-conforming college students have been sexually assaulted, compared to the 18% of non-transgender, genderqueer non-conforming females and 4% of non-transgender, genderqueer non-conforming males. So, I mean, it's just numbers that are just ridiculous. And it's just like, people talk about it. It's not like people don't. We definitely have women. We have the Me Too movement. We have people who open their mouth. People are. And it's like, just as many people are opening their mouth, people still keep fucking exerting their power.
Mm-hmm. And I know, like, these days and age, and even back when our parents and our grandparents were younger, I know when our grandparents were younger, I know they were like younger women getting married to older men.
Oh yeah,
and,
color purple.
Right, and even now, actually, younger women are choosing to be with older men, and it's not like their parents are forcing them to be together, but
sugar papas.
I'm dead. So sometimes people feel like, oh, if I'm with this older person, I have to do this, and this. If that's not something you're comfortable with and you haven't gave them consent for it, don't do it. Some people feel like if I'm with an older person, I have to live up to the standard, or I have to do these things that make me uncomfortable. No, you don't. You have boundaries too. And if they're okay with being with you, young or older, they have to still get sexual consent, and you still have to respect people's boundaries, whether what age you are.
Yeah, just because they're older, I get what you mean. It's like you want to just like impress them kind of, or try to be a little bit more mature. So you try to suppress certain ways that you feel and things.
That you might have never done with nobody before.
At your age.
Not your
Don't date out of your age. And I know that there are people who, yes, you can prefer to date older men. That is totally fine. Not saying that you can't. I usually date people that are like 2-3 years older than me. Don't really do the whole 5 to 10 thing, but people who do that. But at the same time, you have to be okay within yourself and already have your own boundaries set, like Nataria said, to be able to enter into the relationship and not like change yourself.
Exactly.
I guess, yeah. You don't
change yourself for that person and what they want and what they like. You're not respecting yourself and what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have to give yourself consent to be you and to do what you want to do.
Exactly.
To live your life. Because trust me, everybody out here doing what they want to do, living their best life. Some people not, but some people are trying to. I'm trying to live my best life every day.
I'm dead. On the weekends. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no. And definitely, just imagine if you don't communicate with your partner or your friend or whatever, you don't give that consent. You know how long that you'll have to live with those problems and that fear and that regret because you didn't speak up or you didn't communicate about this, that, and the third. Like I said, I've been in situations before. Still getting through it, and it's not nothing that's easy. So you definitely gotta make sure that you're communicating with people. You're letting them know, I'm cool with this, I'm not cool with that. If you feel like it's gonna be uncomfortable, don't go meet anybody that you feel like something might happen or they might not respect your consent. Don't put yourself in that situation because it can end badly. So.
And watch, you may be with friends who take you to other friends' houses, because that's kind of my story. And you can't trust everybody just because you hanging out with some cool people don't mean they hanging out with some cool people.
Right.
And those cool people, uncool shit goes down.
Right.
So yeah, you just have to be aware. Just be aware. Just be aware. Try to pay attention best you can, even if maybe you are out partying or something, or just try your best. And then if you can't try your best, then you know for sure that you didn't give or get consent.
Communicate.
And that is never your fault. That's not your fault. If you can't remember, then that's the whole thing in Queen Sugar with Darling. How she got it. Y'all, yeah.
You done tuned in, girl?
Hey!
Oh, Lord.
But so it's just like, and that's so tricky. And in the way that everybody tries to chop you out the moment you try to say that you have been drinking or you have been partying or, this and that.
Like your consent doesn't matter.
Exactly. Or like that you gave it away the moment you poured your first drink. Fuck no, bitch. Just because I wanted a tequila Sprite does not mean I wanted to be taken advantage of.
Not at all.
Okay? So, and that also kind of brings me, speaking of like dating younger and older and all of that, because when we read these statistics, which are mostly for the United States, but then it just made me think about just the world in general. Consent is just, you think we got it bad over here. It's worse in other places, like I was mentioning India, because they still have those fucking social systems where people are literally like ranked. And I was watching this thing, and I should have looked it up because I can't remember, but there's like a level of people, and they have this name, and they think that these people are nothing, and they barely get good jobs because they just lump them into this group, and they have this name. And they say those women, like this girl, was brutally raped and murdered by at least like minimum 10 men. And like,
oh wow,
and they didn't care, and like the government wasn't looking into it because she was a woman that came from this group of people, and people just believe that they're so low and dirty that her death didn't matter.
That is crazy.
And so it's just like we have to pay attention not only to the U.S. because it's like the United States definitely has its way that it goes about how people do assault and how they get away with assault, and people are doing it worse. I'm not gonna lie, like, because that shit they did to her was crazy, but it did cause an uproar in the country. But it's just like people get treated so poorly everywhere. Honestly. You think you just like look and you think it's just here, and it's really everywhere, and that makes it even worse. And it's like I was pulling up Nigeria, age of consent is 11.
That's disgusting.
In the Philippines and Angola, age of consent is 12. In Japan, it's 13. And where's the other thing? Most of it everywhere else in the world, it's like 15, 16. I think in France, it may be like 16, 17. But in like Japan and like Nigeria, and it's as low as 12 and 13. And like,
wow, that's crazy.
Because
that's
over
disgusting.
there, they do all of that child bride shit still.
Marrying them to older men, bringing them off the family.
And it's just like, we have to look at that. Why is consent 16? Why is consent, if I can't buy cigarettes till I'm 18, well, I think it's 21 now.
Yeah.
If I can't buy cigarettes till I'm 21, I can't drink alcohol till I'm 21. Like, actually, you know what? Sideways. Because I didn't think about this shit until I was listening to something the other day. Why in the world do they allow 18 and up females to enter clubs, but men have to be 21? They've been setting us up from day one. And I never really thought about it. Think about it. We could get into all of that stuff when we're 18, but think about when we go somewhere and the guy has to be 21. I feel like we was just somewhere and that happened. Or we was going but yeah, I've been there. I feel like something, and yeah, girls can be 18 and up, but guys have to be 21 and older. And we don't pay attention. Because I feel like even I kind of didn't pay attention.
Yeah, when you're 18, you're like, oh, a 21-year-old man, okay.
Yeah, but I guess now I'm just meaning like I didn't even pay attention to the age. Like, why can't you let 18-year-old niggas in?
Yeah.
Why are y'all setting women up like that? And then gonna talk about them when you say, why your 18-year-old ass messing with a 21-year-old man? Because you put me in the room with him. Like, they really be setting us up.
But
then want to point the finger at us.
Never thought about it like that.
That's all I'm saying. And when
somebody and the men that's 21 and up, they can buy alcohol for the young aged girls, where they don't get consent.
It's just all the circle, guys.
A toxic cycle of life. But that's why you just have to get consent. I feel like even the people that, like, for the celebrities and football players and basketball players and all that have had sex with women, and the women lie and say, "Oh, I didn't give them consent," and they found out, and like it comes out that the woman did lie. That woman should get jail time.
Oh yeah,
they should get jail time.
I've always believed that. Like, you can't just come out here running your mouth, girl. Like, you can't ruin somebody's reputation and character and morals and fucking standing in the community.
Yeah.
You can't just do that because your feelings was hurt or you think you deserve something. Entitled. See, it's the entitlement.
Yeah.
It's the entitlement for me from people. And it's everybody, not just white folk. Black people are entitled too.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, it's all race that that do that and probably have done that, to where they lie on people and say, "I didn't give them consent to have sex with me," and try to pull the whole rape card. And you're lying about being raped, and you're lying about this person. So yes, you should get jail time.
Who lies? Who lied on somebody? Like what?
It's really people out here that are so I'm gonna say hatred. They're just so evil and they just hateful. Yes, they're very hateful, and they don't care. They don't care about ruining people's life. Cause misery love company, and they probably miserable.
I can't talk because I know one time. I know somebody that called somewhere where they worked and like pretended to be a customer and complained about their coworker to like rack up complaints against them to get them fired.
Yikes.
So, there's that. I mean, but there's ways to ruin people's life. That's a minimal way.
But that goes back to the beginning of the podcast when I was saying get consent, because there's psychopaths out there that will call up to your job, pull up to your job. So if you get consent, not saying that they won't be psycho after you have sex with them, but shit, I don't know what to tell you if they psycho actually.
It's hard. It's hard to point out the psycho. Sometimes you can
the psychos be having good dick.
No, they be fine. That's what it is. They be attractive, and then they have good dick, and so it gets really, really muddy because
it's pulling you into the psycho.
There's red flags, but then
they're colorful.
Yeah, maybe they.
If I squint,
they're not really red. They're like
fuchsia.
Yeah, they're light. They're just a pink.
Right. Type shit.
They're just a really dark pink. So
I'm dead.
But no, consent is just, we just wanted to talk about it because I feel like, the conversation's not necessarily died down, but you just always should be reminded about it. Just remind people. Just remember that, don't forget, because we have so many movements that kind of pop up and things go in and out, but consent is not a movement. It's really not. Same way Black Lives Matter. So, it's not a movement. It's just how you should live your life and what you should practice if you are a considerate human being of other humans that you want to enter.
Right.
That's all.
We're be around.
Yeah, I mean, we're designed to intermingle and interlock. That's fine.
Ew, the way you said interlock made me think of two dogs that are in me, because you can't. Okay.
We're meant to interlock, but
you should just say reproduce.
Just talk.
Why are you rubbing on it like that? Ew, you making me feel uncomfortable.
What can I do to make you feel more comfortable?
Right, get my consent to talk about that nasty stuff. No, but for real, we definitely wanted to bring consent up before we get into the sex episodes. But it's definitely something that is a big topic, something that needs to stay a hot topic, and something that you definitely need to make sure that you and your friends are doing while you're subscribing, sharing, and hitting the bell so you can get every notification when we post.
Yeah, share this episode, see what they think about what we think, and let's all have a big group think.
You can definitely comment and leave us some stories if you want to tell us stories.
Yes, please. We love to hear it. I see it. Read
We definitely read the reviews.
If you have our numbers,
comments.
you can leave us voice messages. Reach out to us. We love to hear from everybody.
I'm
We have
dead.
an email, barcodedchats@gmail.com. Been up and running since day one. So
Yes.
come on, flood us up. So, you know.
All right. Well,
Is that it?
yeah.
Is that it, guys? Okay, bye, I guess.
Until next time, you better holla. You know what this be saying?